Has a client ever booked a consultation with your law firm and then not shown up to the consultation? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how you can get more clients to show up to consultations. And when that happens, you're ultimately going to get more clients, which means you're going to generate more revenue simply by having more people show up. Right now, the first thing you have to understand is that when somebody doesn't show up for a consultation, there's really only two reasons that this happens. Now, the first reason is that you waited too long and they hired somebody else. I remember talking to a lawyer one time who he was like, I got this phone call the other day. They have a really, really good case. It's probably going to be a case of it's going to be a career making case. It's probably going to be like a 20 or $30 million settlement. And they're coming in 2 weeks. And I was like, are you insane? They're coming in 2 weeks. Like, you need to hang up right now and go to their house and sign them up right now. And sure enough, he waited too long and another attorney signed up the case and he missed out on the case of a lifetime, right? He waited too long, right? Now, another reason that people don't show up for consultations is because you haven't made the consultation a priority. It's too low value for them, right? And one of the easiest ways that you can show them the value of the consultation and really, really emphasize that they need to show up and that it's really in their best interest is by the offer that you make during the consultation request when you're on the phone with them for the first time, right? Even though it's free, you still have to sell it. You've got to constantly be selling. And one of the easiest ways to do that is to show the value. Now, the way that you show the value is you have to think about what is it that they actually want. Find their reason, right? Because at the end of the day, the only reason that they're calling you is because they have a problem that they can't solve on their own, right? Nobody hires a lawyer if they don't have a problem. So what you have to understand is you have to understand that they have a problem. And the only reason that they're calling you is because they think that you can help them solve their problem. So the entire purpose of this consultation is not about them meeting you. It's not about them learning about your law firm. It's not about them seeing if you're a good fit. The purpose of this consultation, and this is how it has to be framed, it has to be about solving their problem. Come into my office, sit down, and we're going to talk about how we can solve your problem for you, right? That's the only thing, right? Now, if you do that and you present it that way, then the offer or the consultation is going to be much higher value for them, and they're much more likely to show up, right? So that's what you have to do. You have to think about what is it that they actually want. What is the problem that they have and what is the solution that they want? An easy way to figure this out is through something that I call the airplane test, right? When you go on vacation, you think about the resort. You think about, the all-inclusive food, and you think about the beach, and you think about how much fun you're going to have. But nobody cares about the airplane. Nobody's thinking about the airplane ride. Nobody really wants the airplane ride. The airplane ride is the worst part of a vacation, really, going to the airport. But a lot of times lawyers are busy selling their version of the airplane ride when the client wants the resort, right? So, for example, if you're, a family law attorney, nobody wants a divorce, right? Nobody wants to go through the divorce and go through all the emotional struggles and the arguing and the fighting and the mediation and the court and all that type of stuff. Nobody wants that. But what they want is they want the freedom. They want their life back. They want more time with their kids. They want to move on. They want to find their soulmate and all that type of stuff, right? That's the resort, right? But the vehicle that takes them to the resort is the divorce, right? So you don't want to sell the vehicle because nobody wants the vehicle. Sell the resort. Sell the thing that they want. And the consultation should be, okay, come in and we're going to talk to you about how we can help you get your life started again, how you can get whatever it is that you want, right? And if you do that, then you're much more likely to have people show up because they're going to start seeing the value, right? Now, the other thing, here's another tip. Don't call it a consultation. Try to rebrand it somehow, right? So either strategy session or case planning meeting or case advisory session, or like if you're a criminal defense attorney, do something like pre-jail intervention meeting, something like that, something that's different than consultation, because people have been watching TV for years and they see attorneys on there that say, call us today for a free consultation, right? And that just means sales. Everybody associates sales with consultation. Rebrand it. Nobody else is doing that. If you want to be different, then actually be different, right? So that's another thing, is rebrand the consultation. Now, another thing you want to do is you want to stack the benefits of showing up to the consultation. So for example, if you're a criminal defense attorney, just, you don't want to just say, okay, come in and we're going to show you how we can help you, avoid fines and jail time and all that type of stuff. You want to say, all right, here's what we're going to do. Come in and I want you to bring bring all the paperwork that you have. Because what we're going to do is, first of all, we're going to go through your arrest report and I'm going to explain to you what everything means. We're going to review all of your charges and let you know of all the possible jail time, all the possible fines, all the possible penalties. I'm going to let you know of any possible defenses that we could maybe use, which might be available to us. And then I'm going to answer any other question that you have, right? Now, here's the thing. That's all the crap you would have done anyway, but tell them about it. Make it an offer. Make it like that sounds valuable. Like, I'm going to answer all your questions. I'm going to tell you this. That sounds valuable, right? How can you do that same thing for your consultations, right? Or your whatever you call them, because we're not going to call them consultations anymore, right? So that will help get more people to show up as well and also see the value of it. Now, another thing you want to say is, when you're booking the consultation, you want to say, after you book the time, you say, let me ask you a question. Is there any reason that you wouldn't be able to make this appointment? Because we don't reschedule, right? You say, we're so busy that unfortunately we don't offer reschedules. Now, what that's going to do is, first of all, that's going to make them think again and okay, well, is there actually a reason that I can't make? And sometimes they'll be like, oh, wait, you know what? My kids are getting out of school like an hour later, so I'm not going to be able to make that consultation appointment, right? So sometimes you'll have to then reschedule again, but you'll at least find out now that there's a conflict. And the interesting thing about the we don't reschedule thing is you don't have to not actually reschedule, because if somebody calls you, what's going to happen, and I've had this happen many times, we say that also. We say we don't reschedule. And we don't reschedule if people are flaky. But if somebody contacts me and say, hey, listen, I just got called into court. I hate to reschedule. I know you guys don't offer reschedules, but would you make this exception this one time? We say, okay, fine. This one time we'll make an exception for you, right? But what it does is it causes people to think twice about rescheduling, because basically it's kind of a takeaway. It's, if you cancel this appointment, it's done. You're not going to get another one. And by the way, you've already framed all the value leading up to this point, right? So that's why this works so well. So don't be afraid about saying we don't reschedule, because people will still ask you if they have to reschedule. But what this will do is this will make it much more valuable, right? Now, another thing, you don't want to make appointments more than 2 or 3 days out. Frankly, you want to make the appointments as soon as humanly possible. If you can make the appointment that same day, that's the best. Tomorrow is not as good as today, but okay. 2 days from now is not as good as tomorrow, and it's definitely not as good as today. And you get my point, right? The sooner the better, because the longer you wait, the more opportunity they have to either cool off and decide not to hire anybody or get poached by another attorney, especially if it's a really big case. So you want to make sure you get them in your office or get on the consultation with them as quickly as possible. Now, a couple other things. Once you book the consultation, have the attorney or somebody who is going to be meeting with them send a video text message. Hey, pull out your phone, record a quick video, and say, hey, Bill, I saw you booked a consultation with us. I reviewed your case a little bit, and I think we can really help you. Really looking forward to our appointment Tuesday at 2 p.m., and I cannot wait to see you then. I'll talk to you soon. And text message that video. That personalization will give them something that they're not getting anywhere else, because I promise you other law firms are not giving them this level of personalization, right? Now, another thing is text them the day before to confirm the appointment for tomorrow. And do not say, are you still good for tomorrow's appointment? Just say, hey, I'm confirming tomorrow's appointment where we're going to do whatever, right? Now, the other thing that you can do, there's a few other tips I have here, and these will all optimize your show up rate and get more people to hire you, or more people to show up and ultimately more people to hire you, right? One thing you can do, and I do this all the time, is if you have valuable videos or valuable content that you created, like blog posts or interviews or anything like that, send it to them in advance, because what that's going to do is that's going to pre-indoctrinate them to you, and it's also going to get them to see you as an authority figure, right? If you can provide them value, if you can help them before they actually step into your office, better yet, if you have videos that help them solve small problems that they're going through, then they're going to hire you, right? Because they see you as the authority. And what's going to happen is there's that celebrity effect, that intrinsic value, which is really interesting, because when you add that celebrity value, that intrinsic value, and I know you're thinking, wow, they're not going to think of me as a celebrity. Well, they might not think of you as a celebrity, but they will think of you as the person who is in the videos, who provided them value, who they now know, like, and trust, and who gave them some goodwill up front, right? And when that happens, they are more likely to hire you, right? So send them content that is relevant to their case. And a lot of times what attorneys will do is, if it's questions that they, people come in your office, they're going to ask you the same 5 questions. And frankly, most attorneys are sick and tired of answering the same questions over and over and over again. Answer them in a video and then send them the video. Be like, hey, listen, before you come in, we typically get clients who are confused about these 3 things. So I put together a quick video for you so that you can get all your questions answered, and you can be more prepared for when you come into the office. And if it's something that they're worried about, like, for example, are they going to go to jail? Are they going to have to pay penalties or things like that? Because most people have never dealt with the law before. Like, they don't know what happens in court. They don't know what it's like, to work with an attorney. So if you can put their mind at ease, then that will help as well. And that will provide lots of goodwill, and it will make them feel much better about you, right? Now, the last thing you can do is you can also send them testimonials from successful cases, specifically cases that are similar to their case. That's why it's really important that you're always getting really, really good video testimonials. And if you do all of this, then you're going to have a lot more people show up for your consultations. Even if you're getting 80% show up rate, I mean, if you can get to 90%, 95%, 100% show up rate, then over the course of the year, you're going to make a lot more money because you're going to get a lot more people coming through your doors. So take all these, use these tips and increase your show up rate. And I want you to let me know in the comments, what do you do to get your show up rate as high as possible?